Welcome to our fantastic, scholastic, overenthusiastic, sarcastic podcast called Sar PODCAST.
Very nice.
Now what?
I don't know. What do people do on podcasts?
Yeah, I am on.
It's a good question.
What's the first subject? Or are we doing like a longer intro thing?
We're just gonna
We're just going
talk
to chat.
about how.
So, this is our first podcast episode. Welcome
No
to the
kidding.
party. You're joining us. This is going to be terrible.
If you're joining us.
Hi, Mom! Well, if
I
they're
love those
listening, they've clearly joined us.
Right.
So,
That's what I was
Unless
saying.
they haven't, in case they wouldn't hear it.
obviously, the biggest topic right now is...
We started a podcast.
We started a podcast.
Well,
World
I mean,
news.
true. But as far as in the news is the coronavirus
Thank you.
stuff. But I don't
That
want to
was a
spend the
joke
entire
for all the
time
stupid
talking
people
about
out
that
there.
either.
See.
So, let's try to, move the topic off of that. Should we get it out of the way first? Because, I mean, that's kind of what we know what
We
to talk
still
about.
need to talk about cheese at some point.
I ruled that out.
I know you did, but I have hope.
Okay, well, you can talk about cheese later. Let's go ahead and hit.
Really?
You put on your cashier voice. It's really weird.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Cashier voice.
Mm-hmm. You have a different voice when you're cashiering. I noticed it first when you were cashiering.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
You have a customer service voice, and you put it on for this podcast, and you need to go back normal. Okay, this
Just
is
talk
not the
like you
person I
normally
know.
would talk.
Okay, fine.
Of course I can't.
I'm also
'cause
trying
I
to
have a
talk
cold.
quietly.
Whoops.
Why?
So we don't pick up on each other's mics. Okay. I will try to be normal.
That's like our motto.
That is my goal in life. I have been unsuccessful to this point. Okay. So, coronavirus stuff. What?
You said K, so it's
I
become
like cheese.
It's become reflex for me to say I like cheese.
Go ahead. Okay. So, we are, at this point where we are, stuff is not completely shut down for the coronavirus stuff. And we're not doctors, so we're not going to talk to how severe anything is or what.
Cassie's an aspiring doctor.
Right, but she's not yet. So we're not going to talk to how severe anything is or what are the risks or anything like that, because quite frankly, we don't know.
All I know is if I don't
Speak
leave
for
the
yourself,
house,
Monsieur.
I don't know.
Monsieur.
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 Monsieur Paul Regret.
Okay, so,
I feel like a lot of this just makes no sense.
I say so way too much. Anyway,
See.
the coronavirus stuff has forced a lot of families to homeschool who had not previously been homeschooling. We have been homeschooled for a very long time. Since I was in 3rd grade? No. I was in 4th grade, my first year homeschooling.
That sounds right.
Yes. Yeah. So 4th grade was my first year homeschooling, and now I am in college, and technically should probably be done with college, but I'm not. Anyway.
So, question:
Okay.
if you mute your mic, does it pick up the sound on the computer?
No.
Okay, good.
It will.
We're good. Let's go.
You
It will not-
tested this.
It will not use...
Really? Did we?
You were talking about how it didn't.
Oh, that's wait.
So
Yes.
you were loud
yeah,
enough,
that's
though it may have picked up on our mics.
It might have.
Maybe.
But,
Sorry.
But
It
at
will
least it
be
won't be ear
minimal.
blasting, and that's fine.
Okay. So, back to homeschooling. We've been homeschooling in our family for, what would that put us? So that would have
12
been...
years. No.
Longer than
Well,
that.
I guess
but
you're in your senior year, and you were homeschooled. Your first year was our...
You guys were for sure homeschooling for at least a year before I got in.
Okay, I feel like...
Before I was in kindergarten. So
Are you
it's been
sure?
I remember because we have a video of me on tape when I turned 5 saying I can start school tomorrow, and we're in the trailer, and then the next video is me doing your old worksheets in the school.
So it's been at least 12 years.
It's been at least 12 years.
It's been 13 because we
At
moved
least.
out to the property.
in
In
06.
2006.
So,
See.
yeah, we moved out May of 2006, which would have put us starting school in fall of 2006 for homeschool. Anyway, so we've been homeschooling for a very long time. So, that really hasn't changed anything in our house.
No.
Your math is off.
My math is off?
What?
You said 13 years?
14 years. Oh, it's not
2006
2019.
to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 13, 13 to 14, 14 to 15, 15 to 16.
This is enthralling, honestly.
What was I on?
15 to 16.
16 to 17, 17 to 18, 19 to 20. And we're just about done with our 14th year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's been a long
14.
time.
Yes.
Which we established already.
We already knew it was a long time. We didn't need the exact year.
That's okay, it works.
Speak for yourself.
Precision. Okay. I feel like I say okay, and so way too much.
Hence,
You say
queso.
okay, so. And then I say I like cheese.
Alright, so.
And you say calm yourself, and I say Iago.
This is enthralling, really.
We're next to the kitchen, there might be some background noise.
I don't think it's going to be too
Probably not
loud.
too bad.
There might be
Anyway.
background noise, but it won't be too loud.
Back to the topic.
Back to the future.
So,
Parts one
we're
through
having fun seeing everyone else struggling through homeschooling, basically. And it's entertaining from our perspective. Because it's nothing new in our house.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, so I currently go to college, and my university moved all classes to online, but none of my professors are doing any of the video conferencing lectures or anything like that. So I'm basically down to just doing classwork and homework myself, which is homeschooling.
That's exactly what
So
we've been
I
doing.
am back in my element, and I'm having a blast.
Except not with really flimsy plastic DVD cases.
Oh my word.
And
Don't get me started.
very few deadlines, because one of my professors for 2 classes said everything's due on the last day, so early May. Which means I can work at my own pace. And I'm inclined to just blast through it and get it done in a couple weeks and then not have to worry about those 2 classes.
Nice.
But that's kind of what we've been seeing with some of the impacts to coronavirus stuff. One thing I would say, a little serious note for coronavirus response almost. This is something
Somewhere in 1st or 2nd Timothy. I think there's a 13 in there somewhere. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and I don't have it memorized.
and of love and of a
Of
sound mind.
sound mind, yeah. Or self-control.
Your
Good job,
version may
whichever
vary.
version it
Um,
is.
So, but here are 3 questions you can ask, and this is something, I don't know if I've specifically gone through the 3 questions. I feel like for sure the first one with you, semi-recently. But basically, crisis response almost. First question, what's
My
the
foot's
worst?
falling asleep.
Good.
Thank you
I
for that
think.
helpful interjection.
We need a news flash every time your body does something.
I think this podcast is going to be 90% movie quotes.
Quite possible. Oh, and Vanessa's fighting a little bit of a cold. So this is not her
Sorry
normal
if
voice.
my voice
Give
is
some grace.
irritating to you. And I'm sorry if I turn away listeners with my horrible voice.
Back to my 3 questions. So I don't want to spend too much time on these things, but feel free to jump in on if you've got input. First question, question 1, in crisis response, which applies to the coronavirus stuff. And obviously it's a crisis for people who don't have coronavirus, don't know anybody who has coronavirus, because everything is shut down. So I know a lot of people have been laid off, and certainly jobs have been impacted even if you're not laid off. Hours have been cut, whole industries have been really impacted.
Yeah.
And obviously people in the medical field are super overworked right now too, so they're both ends of the spectrum. But question 1 in kind of a crisis response, situational evaluation, I would say, would be, what is the worst possible thing that could happen?
Death.
Yeah, well, see, my answer to that question for this scenario, from a personal perspective, being somebody who has no authority and no skills that would help mitigate anything coronavirus related.
You could have just stopped right there.
Thank you for that. But my worst possible scenario would be if our family died, except for me. Like, that would be my worst possible scenario.
Oh, how humble, how noble of you. You're not worried about your own death,
I'm being
the
honest.
death of others.
I don't really give two hoots.
What a noble, amazing
If
cause.
I die, I don't have to worry anymore.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so that's question one. And I
Yeah.
feel like question one really helps to put things into perspective. It can also be not really comforting either. Like, that one is not super comforting.
But you're also confronting it. Like, you're not saying, oh no, what on earth is going to happen, and panicking. You're assessing the problem.
And I feel like that's where the value comes from in you're realizing the scope of the situation, whether that's good or bad, as far as like, but I feel like that question helps to lower the panic level, even if it's really bad. But
I feel like this is a conversation between me and Lydia.
Cassie's drawing.
Yes.
But I had something in my head.
That's usually a good thing.
It is, normally, if I can pull it back out again. But
As
in
long
most
as it belongs in there to
situations,
begin with.
not necessarily applicable to the coronavirus thing, but in most situations, that really helps to put things into perspective and go, okay,
Or it just means you have
this
a
isn't
really
as
good
serious
imagination.
as I'm making it. You know? Question two would be, what part of this situation is within my control? That helps to flesh out a couple different things. One is this my fault? Which may need to be evaluated. I feel like we can create stressful situations in our own lives, and it's totally your fault. And other times it's completely not your fault. And so the answer to that question influences the answer to question number 3, which is, what can I or am I going to do about it? And that
All you do, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and if it makes you feel better, social distancing or self-isolating.
Exactly, for the coronavirus situation, at a personal level, that's all we can do. Healthcare professionals, they've
Don't
got
wear
skills
gloves
they can apply
because
and they can help.
germs get carried by gloves too. It's an amazing concept, really.
Yeah, that puzzles me. I kind of get the idea of if you're good at not touching your face and you're changing your gloves frequently, you can. If you're good at
Just wash
changing
your
your gloves frequently, but also like my job, a lot of people are wearing gloves because you're back and forth to different vehicles and in different shops, and
Right.
But you could also
it
just
kind of
not
makes
touch
sense
your
in
face.
some contexts. But yes,
And
but
wash your
also you
hands.
can change your gloves if you're not, like, most of the time I'm not near a sink.
Yeah,
But I
that
haven't been
makes
wearing
sense.
gloves.
But someone walking through Rayleigh's wearing gloves and a mask and with freaky eyes, that's a little
If
too
it makes
far.
you feel better, go ahead. That's kind of my
It clearly
perspective
doesn't
on
make
it.
them feel better, honestly. They look
I
so
feel like
sad.
it would feed my paranoia, honestly. It would probably make me think about it more, which, as long as you're practicing good hygiene, there's not a whole lot more you can do. So anyway, those are my 3 questions. I thought I would bring them up because those are things that I feel like I've applied them a lot throughout recent years to a bunch of different situations.
Mhm.
And I've told people kind of, especially like question 1, which is kind of a weird one to start people out on, but
Why would you put it at question 1 then?
because it's a very good assessment of the situation. It breaks it down, broad to minute. So, question 1, what's the
I
worst
think
possible thing?
Goes
Or,
from minute to broad.
if it makes you feel better,
Let's not do
what's the
School of
most
Athens
likely thing?
Okay. But it makes sense because you have to assess the problem to figure out what you can be doing about the problem.
I feel like a lot of things we
Or you can just
overreact
ignore
to
your
also.
problems
So
and-
it helps to bring things into
Slip
perspective.
into insanity.
And then, so question number 1, what's the worst possible thing that could happen? Or if it makes you feel better, the most likely thing that could happen in this situation, scenario, problem,
The most
whatever.
likely thing is my life is turned upside down for a month. and
It's
then
gonna
we
be
all
longer
get
than a
back.
month.
Yeah, it's going to be longer than a
Yay.
month.
Question 2, what part of the situation is within my control or is my fault? And question 3, what can I or should I be doing about it? And I feel like that's a pretty good. It's a good template for a response to any situation, not just this. But I thought I would kind of share that because I was thinking about that today because I came across a couple people who were overreacting, and I was able to hopefully lessen their fears a little bit. With the first question, what's the worst possible thing that could happen? The whole world dies.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, anyway.
Cheery note.
On that note, let's change topics. So what can you do?
Cheese.
I mean, you can eat cheese, but what can you do during
Chocolate.
kind of a shelter-in-place environment where you're not supposed to be going out? Everything is closed, whether you want to go out or not. Everything is closed. I did go through the coffee drive-thru today. That's one thing. Try to support your local businesses. If you've got businesses that are still open, we've got our favorite local coffee shop. So we like to swing through and go through their drive-thru, even though their in-house operation is shut down right now. Their drive-thru is still open, so go and support them so they can pay their employees and stay running. So that's a good idea for.
But you can't support your local bookshop because it's closed and there's no.
You can probably
drive-thru
order
for
things online.
bookshop. I don't think they have stuff like that on there.
I don't know.
I could check.
You
But
can
they have
check.
just like a calendar of their warehouse sales and all that.
Dead air. Hello?
Dead air. Hello. What do we talk about while Lydia is out? Let's see. Cheese, maybe.
Vanessa, stop.
I like a good Gouda. I like cheese. Yeah, you're talking off your mic. And nobody can hear it. And it's awkward. Like me talking with a
Vanessa,
stuffy nose.
would you stop?
I
Constantly.
can't talk the whole time either.
Right.
That's true. What do I say, though? Like when you drop the ball,
You
someone
have
has
the
to pick
little
it up.
list of things we're supposed to be talking
You
about.
can see it.
What's the next
I can
topic,
see it.
though?
She can't, and I just don't talk.
You
What's the
should.
next
We're on a
topic?
podcast.
Right.
Hello.
So we've
How
already
long
talked
have
about
you known me?
coronavirus and homeschooling. We've got books and we've got music and ideas for what to do. Those kind of fall into
yes.
ideas for what to do while you're in quarantine or working around all of your places that you normally would have gone and events canceled and things like that. Our church just this week has gone to no in-person services. We're doing online streaming entirely. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's per our state regulation. So
For our governor's mandate.
our governor's mandate, which, like it or not, that's the law now, so we obey the law. So we wanted to kind of talk about some books and authors that interest us.
Did we?
Yeah.
I was not
we
a
made
part of
this
this
list.
conversation.
Well, what are
apparently.
some books and authors that interest you? Are you reading anything currently?
I'm reading. I counted this up the other night. I'm reading upwards of 9 books.
I'm
That's
probably
just what I
about
could
there
remember
or
at 2
more.
in the morning.
I'm only at 5 people.
Wow.
5.
That's
terrible.
That's sad.
It's amazing.
No, it's not.
No, it's a goal of mine.
So what's
to
your
read
favorite
at
one
a
right
time.
now, Nessa?
Right now?
What's your favorite book that you're reading? Give us kind of a little synopsis of it.
Maybe it would be the one she's
don't
been
know.
carrying around literally everywhere she's.
It's kind of where I'm going. Be thinking
Yeah,
about it. I'm
that's
going to ask
true.
you the same question.
But I'm also very emotionally attached to others. I'm reading a Lynette Noni book. She is a Christian, although, yeah, I don't know what else to say.
That's never
It's
good.
It is a fantasy series. I don't know exactly how else to describe it,
A young
other
adult.
than that they have been in peril several
Young adult
times,
fantasy.
and it frustrates me. And the sad book, or the sad part from
you
the
could
last
you
2
could,
books
you
have
know
been...
give the title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Vardacia, or Vardacia. Don't know how it's pronounced. You don't insert weird names into things, and don't tell people how it's pronounced.
So it's a fantasy book.
Yes.
Cassie, what's your favorite book you're reading right now? Or have read recently?
That's a good question.
Pick one. It doesn't have to be your favorite. This is our indecisive one over here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm reading The Lost Battle for book report.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
The
Who's
last
the author?
battle is
C.S. Lewis.
Oh, okay,
It's
it's
the
a
last
Narnia.
one from Narnia,
Okay.
and I thought it fitting because it's my last book report in ever.
High school career.
Yeah.
It won't
The
be
last
your last
battle.
Not
ever.
book report ever, but like last book report.
a Becca.
Book report. So
Nice.
I thought it fitting.
I've only read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in that series.
Oh my word! You need to read more.
It's on my
It's
bucket
all
list.
amazing. Oh, fulfill your bucket list now.
I have a life.
You never know when the coronavirus is gonna
I'm
get you.
currently reading so
Then
many other
add
books.
another one. You need to read The Magician's Nephew.
I don't
Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Silverchair, and The Last Battle.
Great. When I get through the 17 I'm currently reading, we could talk. I don't know what my favorite book is right now.
There's our little indecisive one here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Well, the only one I've really read recently has been... Well, I'm reading two, as in within the last week I've picked them up. Because I've actually had time to pick them up.
Congratulations.
One is Louis L'Amour, Man from the Broken Hills. It's one of the Sacketts.
Yeah.
And then the other one is D. Henderson, The Witness is the name of it. It's kind of a standalone. She tends to write in series.
Read that one, Tess. That
That's-
was the one we were supposed to
That's
finish
the one we're
after
going to
Lord of
read
the
after
Rings.
Lord of the Rings. We are over halfway through the series. More than halfway if you count The
Okay,
Hobbit.
do you realize that we
No,
started
don't
the
count
Hobbit?
The Hobbit.
We started The Hobbit during Caleb's senior, or right after Caleb's senior trip.
So it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's been at least 3 years.
On a side
But we're
note,
the second.
I just
we're
finished
over
reading
halfway
The
through the
Hobbit.
second book.
I just finished reading The Hobbit. And okay, fine. Wow.
No, you
But-
can keep talking. I'm just trying to let you know
Oh, yeah,
that
I
dinner
know.
is ready.
Okay.
You could use words.
I could.
Yeah,
But I was
'cause I'm
trying to not
reacting.
have to edit another spot.
Wait,
We're not
you're gonna edit
editing
this?
this?
Probably not, actually. Okay.
It's
Continue.
fine.
Hobbit.
Anyway, I was reading The Hobbit, and
Wow.
I'm having major
Height-shaming.
book withdrawals from it.
Good for you.
We need to pick up the Lord of the Rings series again.
We do.
Like tonight.
We're like halfway through.
We're over
Two
halfway
Towers.
through the Two Towers. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're close. We burned through the Two Towers pretty quickly because we read consistently.
I slept
That
through
was
most
fun.
of it, though. So.
I probably did too. I have that hidden talent for being able to read whilst asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are the two books I picked up recently, so I'd say those are the two that are kind of my favorites right now. I think that's, yeah, I would say my favorite is probably the Louis L'Amour right now, but The Witness is pretty good. It is pretty good. Okay, what about music, very quickly? What type of music are you listening to? What's been kind of in your rotation lately?
Frozen 2 and Newsies.
This is
Exclusively.
This is a joke Vanessa's been doing.
It's not a
It's
joke.
not a joke. It is literally legitimate.
Oh, I know it's
Since
legitimate, but it's
November.
kind of become an inside joke because
Yeah. It's an inside joke, but it's still
because of our
kind
game we play.
Yeah, we do a...
We
Huh?
we call it
Where'd you
iPod
get me?
roulette. None of us have an iPod, but we picked it up from a radio, show. And basically, you have two people pitted against each other with randomized playlist of like your biggest playlist of all of your songs that you like. So mine is on Spotify, Nessa's is on YouTube, Cassie's is on YouTube, and you put it on shuffle. And then you have one person who is a judge, and they give a point to whichever song they like better that pops up.
On
And the
the
first
yeah.
person to 3 wins.
Mhm.
And then loser judges, winner plays the person who just judged. So that's the game we're talking about. Cassie, what's in your music taste lately?
Basically everything. I've been listening to a lot of 10th Avenue North since they're retiring, and I'm
Yep.
not happy about that.
They have postponed their farewell tour, though. We can
Yes.
only hope.
know
Yes, but we have tickets, so it postponed our concert too.
Yeah, but it means
But they
they're
wouldn't have
together
come
longer.
anyway because we got a massive snowstorm the day before, so they wouldn't have been able to make it to
cross
Wouldn't have been
the
able to
pass.
make it over the
Yeah.
hill.
So that is
Blessings
why
in
the
disguise.
coronavirus hit. Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not have dead air except for
Are you
my
done?
weird laugh. Yes, I'm done.
Just because you don't want to talk anymore.
Yes.
Okay. My music taste lately, I've definitely been on a For King and Country binge
Since
for
November.
Oh no,
Longer
since she
than
got back
that.
from camp.
for sure
Okay.
since I got back from camp,
So
which
August.
would have been August, middle of August. So, yeah. And I have expanded a little bit recently, but for months that was all I listened to. I listened to a little bit of Ned Ledoux today.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. I
Um,
listened to a lot of radio today because I was driving. So, a lot of country radio, a lot of Christian radio. But yeah, a lot of 10th Avenue North too. Things like that. I'm enjoying Christian radio right now because I feel like I've been out of it long enough that a lot of the songs are newer to me. So, it's not as repetitive. Anywho, that's kind of what I've been listening to music-wise. I think we are going to wrap up. Dinner is ready.
this was
Yeah,
highly
it smells
entertaining.
We talked a lot longer than I thought we would, and that's probably not a good
Yeah.
thing.
You
But-
didn't
No, I think
realize.
it's good.
Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let us know if you made it this far. Let us know what you think of the podcast idea,
It will probably
ideas
be
for
more
topics. What would you guys
structured.
like to talk about? Yeah,
You
this one was
guys.
very conversational, and yeah,
I'm
we
running
just
on 4 hours
thought we
of
would
sleep,
jump
so
in and
yeah.
start it since we didn't have any better ideas and kind of do a trial run.
And get used to us talking over each other.
So, for now, it's going up on YouTube. We're investigating, looking into other avenues. We'll see. But right now, it's going to go up on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. This has been our fantastic, scholastic, over-enthusiastic, sarcastic podcast.
Semi-enthusiastic tonight.
Semi-enthusiastic. Yeah,
We'll be more sprightly in the future.
maybe. Hang in there. Stay
Wow.
healthy. And
Let's extend this intro as long as
It's
we
an
possibly
outro.
Outro.
Or outro. Oh, that's right.
we're
Let's
leaving.
Make
better
this
sense.
as awkward as possible.
Absolutely.
okay?
Absolutely.
I would have thought the piece of dead
Hey,
air
let's
after
bring
you
our
said,
dinner over.
Thank you.
And eat it.
Would have been the ending, but no.
That would sound terrible. So this has been
That's the point.
Sar Podcastic. Join us next time when we talk about some other
Cheese.
topic.
Cheese.
Cheese. We didn't
And
talk
cats.
about cheese.
And
We need to
coffee
talk
and
about
chocolate.
cheese. Okay, cheese. Our next podcast topic.
Okay, please.
See y'all next
spare
time.
me. Goodbye.
Let's extend this intro yet again.
I hate you.
You're welcome.
This is the end.
This is the end.